when you talk about Salem, that is the old Presbyterian boys' boarding school at Osu, nothing comes to mind clearly except these: discipline, hard work, honesty, integrity, and perseverance. Salem trains you to think. Salem trains you to work hard at everything that you do. No work is too hard or too difficult, and nothing is either beneath your dignity to do. Salem trains you in every respect of what is dignified, what is noble, and what is just. In school, we are taught that no matter what you do, you've got to study hard. And when you study hard, your educational qualifications and training would become the key to several doors in the job market for you. We are trained to emulate the good standards and performance of those ahead of us, but you are never trained to go looking after money for its own sake. In other words, be satisfied with what your job gives you and not count on the money in the pockets or in the bank accounts of other people. Salem trains you to be neat and organized. And if you went through Salem and you are not an organized person, then probably you were not at Salem. Or probably you were there, but you were so hopeless that nobody really cared about you. But I can say that even those who were brought to Salem by their parents to be tamed got absolutely fine results after a first term in their school. Some would say that the teachers were wicked or too harsh, but I would say that they were just doing what was right. When a Presbyterian is a Presbyterian, true to the word, that Presbyterian is organized, is disciplined, is honest, and trustworthy. Salem made it possible for us to go through various stages of life with reasonable ease. Not in comfort, but we didn't find any conditions too difficult or too harsh for us. If you worked hard and you were not promoted, you knew you were not promoted, but you didn't go sulking every day. But invariably, your promotion will come because of the work that you do. And it is interesting to see that many old boys who went to Salem had achieved great heights. We can count them in their numbers. Some of them you would know, others you may not know, but you might have heard of them. And we had some of the great teachers we could count on. The late Reverend J.F. Kote, who was then Teacher Kote, would tell you of the likes of Mujaben Dawona, Niamo Lenu, Charles Queest, and others, just to encourage you to do your best in class. I am fond of quoting the late Reverend Christopher Hesse, who said that a liberal education without the fundamental idea of character development amounts to nothing. And this was his speech to us in the 1951 year group when we were about to leave Salem. But he also told us when he started his talk, and here I quote him in Ga, "Minyanye joy, minyanye jotraloy, minyanye doctor fwe, minyanye lawyers. Ejake kenye kwena hi meko bachu woni bi min kone. Ja, ameke Salem, Heshiba, ke nikasimu, ke demeboma chuameni. He wore hanye ofen aiku. And recently, the Chief Justice of the United States said almost the same things. I have forgotten which college he went to, but in his speech, he said he was not wishing the students well because some of them will become rogues, because some of them will be failures. But without failing, they wouldn't know what success meant. Now, we were told this in 1951. The Chief Justice of the United States was telling students just a couple of weeks ago in 2017. So was our Reverend Christopher Hesse wrong? No, he wasn't wrong. He was right. And probably this man might have read about him somewhere. That is the Chief Justice. If not, at least I will say that two different people from different professions in different nations were saying the same things to students. So that is life. And when you go through Salem and you don't succeed, God forbid, then something must have been drastically wrong. Salem trains people to stand on their own feet, to be good at whatever they did. And we want to make Salem the old Salem again. There are people in Osu, there are people in areas other than Osu, 10 or 15 people sleeping in one room, 8 by 10. Without Salem, where would they go? If Salem has been restored, these people can come to Salem. The Presbyterian Church owes it to Osu and its neighboring communities. The people of Osu gave the land almost freely to the Presbyterian Church. It has served its purpose, but there is more to be done. And old boys, I would say, need to come together and help build this up again. Let Salem stand on its own again. Let Salem be Salem. It was easy in the olden days for people to easily acknowledge who went to Presbyterian school or who went to government school in Accra. Just by the way you dressed, just by the way you wrote, just by the way you conducted yourself in the workplace. We seem to be losing some of these things. And perhaps, not perhaps, it was time for us to wake up. And it was time for us to revive the spirit of the old school. And if we are able to contribute to making the school what it used to be, then we can have room or a chair at the table for us to decide what goes on at Salem. The educational content we cannot change much, but we can add to it. There are certain things we can introduce or talk to the teachers about for them to introduce that. We can establish a number of, let's say, bursaries for particular subjects for Salem boys to excel in, so that at least when you say you came from Salem, there are certain attributes which could be attached to your personality. And I think this is important. We can only do this if we mean well for the students. And the students need our help. Some of the teachers may not easily or readily come with us. We've got to convince them that Salem was some institution of great learning before, and we wanted it to be the same.